Hello and welcome to Garb Studio. In this video, I am going to show you how to magnify some part of a video clip in Adobe Premiere Pro. So, without further ado, let's get started. I have already added a video clip to the timeline that requires magnification. To begin, duplicate the video clip by holding down the Alt key on your keyboard while dragging the clip to the top layer. Next, click on the duplicated video clip and navigate to the Effects window. Search for the crop effect and apply it to the top video clip by dragging that onto top video clip. Now, go to the Effect Controls panel and select the crop setting. This will display the crop feature on the program monitor. You can then drag the small square icons to specify the area you want to magnify. If you disable the bottom track, you will be able to see the cropped portion from the top clip. To continue, go back to the Effect Controls panel and click on the stopwatch icons next to the scale and position settings. This will add the starting keyframes. Then, move the playhead forward by 10 frames and increase the scale value to zoom in on the selected part as per your expectation. Adjust the position values accordingly. As you make these adjustments, the software will automatically create the second keyframes for the animation. Next, move the playhead to the desired endpoint where you want to end the magnification effect. Click on the little circle next to the scale and position settings to add a third keyframe. Then, move the playhead forward by another 10 frames. Click on the Reset Parameter icon to reset the scale and position values to their original values. By doing this, the software will automatically create additional keyframes for the unzooming effect. Let's play and preview the effect. You may notice that our Magnify effect doesn't stand out as much as we'd like. To improve it, let's darken the background track using opacity adjustments. First, click on the top clip and move the playhead to the starting keyframe. Now select the bottom clip and go to the Effect Controls panel. Click on the stopwatch icons next to the opacity setting to add the starting keyframe for the opacity animation. Next, move the playhead forward by 10 frames and decrease the opacity to around 40%. This will create a fade effect on the bottom clip. Now, click on the top clip, move the playhead to the third keyframe, and return to the bottom clip. Click on the little circle next to the opacity setting to add a keyframe. Move the playhead forward by 10 frames and click on the Reset Parameter icon to reset the opacity value to its original value. By following these steps, the background track will become slightly darker, enhancing the visibility of the Magnify effect. To further enhance the effect, we can apply a blur to the background and add a drop shadow to the magnified part. Here's how you can do it. Click on the bottom clip, then go to the Effect Controls panel. Open the Effect window and search for the Gaussian blur effect. Drag and drop it onto the bottom video clip. In the Effect Controls panel, navigate to the Gaussian blur section. Apply the same keyframes we used before for consistency. Adjust the blurriness setting according to your desired level of blur. You can experiment with different values until you achieve the desired effect. Make sure to select the Repeat Edge Pixels option to avoid any visible seams at the edges of the clip. Follow the same keyframes we used before for the end of the animation to reset the blur to its original state. Additionally, you can further enhance the magnified part by adding a drop shadow effect to make it stand out even more. Let's add a drop shadow effect to the top video clip to further enhance the magnified part. Go to the effect window and search for drop shadow. Drag and drop the drop shadow effect onto the top video clip. In the effect controls panel, navigate to the drop shadow section. Adjust the parameters of the drop shadow effect according to your desired outcome. You can customize various settings such as opacity, distance, angle, and blur to achieve the desired drop shadow effect. To create dynamic changes, we will add keyframes to the opacity of the drop shadow. As the top clip zooms in, the opacity of the drop shadow will go from 0 to 100. As the top clip zooms out, the opacity will transition from 100 back to 0. Play around with other effects and adjustments available to achieve the desired visual impact. The choice of effects and settings ultimately depends on your expectations and creative vision. By adding a drop shadow effect and manipulating its opacity, you can add depth and dimension to the magnified part. Feel free to explore other effects and settings to unleash your creativity and meet your specific expectations. Thank you for watching this tutorial. I hope you found it helpful and informative.